All right, I think we can get started. Welcome, everybody, to the ARPA Day Committee meeting for Monday, May 1st, 2023. As always, meetings of the ARPA Day Transformation Committee are public meetings as defined by the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act and should follow these guidelines. As this public meeting is held virtually, it will be recorded and made available to view on the DDS website. Committee members must make a good faith effort to state their name and title if applicable each time they speak during the meeting. If a committee member would like to speak, please raise your hand and one of the co-chairs will acknowledge you. There is no public comment portion to this meeting. Members of the public are able to join, watch, and listen only. Okay, the next agenda item is approval of the 4/3/2023 minutes. Any questions, concerns, or comments with those minutes? Could I have a motion to accept the minutes of 4/3?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Marianne? Could I have a second?
I'll second it. Beth Fisher, Kuhn.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, they pass. Okay, we have our communication consultant from McDowell, Maura and Rebecca, giving us an update. Maura?
Sure. Hi, everyone. This is Maura Fitzgerald from McDowell Communications Group. Sorry, my background is all weird. I just have a quick update for you. We have a flyer that is going out this week to all of the individuals and families that are supported by DDS. And I believe it has already been emailed to DDS staff and also to DDS providers. The flyer is has a message from the commissioner, and then it also has the dates for the forums that the commissioner and the deputy commissioner are holding in the month of May, with short little descriptions about the services that are going to be talked about in each of the forums. So those went to the post office today and should hit the mailboxes of our individuals and families starting this Wednesday, and hopefully it will get to everyone before the weekend. And then the forums start next week. We're also now working on a full June newsletter, which will go out to everyone as well. And we're working with DDS right now on kind of the topics for that. And we do know for sure that it will have a calendar in it for events that are going to be coming up in the month of June and probably July as well. So that is getting worked on. The videos that I mentioned on previous committee meetings are coming along really, really nicely. Last week, the production company showed us kind of their first draft rough cuts of the videos for community companion homes and supportive housing. And it was shared with some of the members of the leadership team at DDS and really was very, very well received by everyone who saw it. So those are coming out really, really nicely. We're going to be seeing the rough cuts of the other, there's 5 videos that are kind of in production right now. So we'll see the other 3 rough cuts over the next week and a half or so. All of the videos are going to be open captioned in English, and then there will be another version that's open captioned in Spanish. And all of these things will live on the DDS website, which is the next thing on our agenda. We have a web developer who is working on designing a step web page that will be on the DDS website. It's going to look very different from the normal DDS web pages. DDS right now is in the process of kind of revamping their entire website. But we wanted to get a STEP website up a little bit quicker than all of the changes to the entire website. So we have a designer who is working within the same kind of framework that the developers who are doing the rest of the DDS website are working in. And he has designed how that will look. It'll be much more visually based and kind of button based, so people can click on buttons to go to what they need to go to, rather than it being very, a lot of text. So we have kind of his first draft of how that web page will look. And we've gotten feedback from DDS, and that has gone back to the designer, and he's incorporating those changes. And hopefully once that is done, we can actually start to kind of put that up and start putting the pieces of all of this in there. So there'll be like a button for the videos. And I think we're also hoping to have a section on the website where the videos will actually be right there on the main STEP web page. So you can just click right from the main page and watch a video. You don't have to go hunting around for it anywhere else. And I think most of the buttons will be at the top will be based on the 7 services. So for instance, the thought is, you could click into the tab for supportive housing, and the video for supportive housing will be there. A 1-pager on supportive housing will be there, and other information. So it'll be kind of like a little library all about supportive housing that you can just go into with one click of the mouse. So that is being worked on. And then finally, the 1-pagers. I think that I've mentioned it on this call before. We are going to have a very brief information sheet for each of the 7 services. So there'll be an information sheet that goes along with each of the videos. And really it's just kind of it gives a high level description of what each of the supports is, how they're staffed, if they involve staffing, what the benefits of this particular service are or support is, what the potential challenges are to the support, and where people can get more information. So it will be available on the website. The case managers will have these 1-pagers so they can give them out as a handout to people if they want to take them home and read through them. And we're also going to be able to use them in social media posts and different things that we'll be working on once these things are built. So we have in production right now, supportive housing, individualized home supports, remote supports, community companion homes, self-direction, and then we have an overall STEP 1-pager that's actually going to be 2 pages, but we'll spell out for people kind of how STEP came to be, how it's related to ARPA, and how it's related to moving on, and kind of how we've moved to STEP, what that means, kind of what the benefits are, and what STEP is and what STEP isn't. So that will be if it's printed out a front and back 2-page info sheet on what STEP is. So that is all being designed right now, and hopefully will be kind of ready to roll soon. And then we're still working on 1-pagers for assistive technology and employment. But that is where we are with communication. So hopefully starting in May, starting in June, we will have these 1-pagers, we'll have the videos, and we'll start to really be able to roll things out to individuals and families on what's going on. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
This is Keith Lavalette. I did get the opportunity to see one of the rough cuts, and I thought it was quite well done. So I'm looking forward to the final versions of them. Maura, do you think once, especially with the day videos, do you think this committee could get a view of them before they go out publicly?
Sure. Yeah, I think we're planning on sharing the videos with the committees before they go out publicly. And if it doesn't line up with your next committee meeting, I will have links to all of the videos, so I can always share them with you, Keith, and then you can send them out to the committee members so people can view
good.
them on their own time.
Okay.
But yeah,
Appreciate it.
that's definitely in the plan.
Beth, do you have a question?
Thanks, Keith. Beth Fisher from CUNY. Mara, did you say that the flyers that's going out to the individuals DDS supports were also emailed to providers? Or did I misunderstand that?
No, they were supposed to be. DDS was emailing them to all staff and to providers and other stakeholders that they have identified. Wait, did you not get one? Or?
It's possible it got lost in my jam-packed inbox. I will go back and look, but do you know when that would have been or no?
Becca, do you know when they did that?
I believe Lauren did it, I believe it went out Thursday or Friday
Okay.
of last week.
Yeah, I'll double check. Thank you for that. Yep.
This is Keith Level at DDS. I can check back with Lauren too, because I don't recall. Well, maybe they did go out through Everbridge, but I don't remember seeing it. Do you have another question, Beth? Okay, this is Keith Lavalette, DDS. Anybody else have questions for Maura or Rebecca? All right, thank you both. Next on the agenda, we have Deloitte presentation. I see Julia. Are you solo today?
Yes,
I don't
this
see
is Julia.
Betsy on.
Yes, this is Julia Oak from Deloitte. I am solo today. So
All right.
great. So we'll be keeping our update relatively short this week, but just wanted to share an update on some of the transition plans submitted and then some things that will be coming up through STEP. So to date, DDS has received 15 plans, STEP transition plans. Those are in the process of being reviewed by the regions, but there's been a good mix in terms of day and residential transition plans as well as across the different regions. So those things are still in progress. Relatedly, now that we have sort of transitioned to the next phase of STEP after the moving on pilot earlier this year, I believe 2 weeks ago, there's updated transition plan templates that were released. They're sent out via Everbridge and they are posted on the provider gateway. The main changes is just to streamline the templates a bit to make them a little bit shorter and provide just so it's a little bit less long of a form for folks to fill out. So the updated templates are available for folks to use moving forward. And that sort of progress to date, our team has been very busy prepping and working with DDS for working through some of the implementation and sort of those upcoming activities. But we are excited that in the month of May and most likely in June, we will be hosting informational sessions for providers, DDS staff, DDS leadership to sort of share more broadly, what is STEP? What does this mean for my role? Have time for folks to ask questions. And then hasn't been scheduled, but early summer, we will also be supporting trainings. There'll be 3 courses for providers, sort of as a module, a lot more sort of process oriented tactically about transition planning, what are things to think about, things like that. And then we'll be hosting a session geared towards DDS staff, kind of focusing on ways to support providers and individuals and families and the broader support teams throughout STEP transitions. So we're keeping it short today, but happy to answer any questions.
This is Keith Lavalette, DDS. Just a brief change. I think the templates weren't sent out to the providers. A letter was just sent out through Everbridge, letting providers know that the new templates were on the webpage.
Yes, that's right. Thank you for the reminder. I think that's just because of the file size, I believe, but.
And just to further update on the whole transition process. We're currently working on a draft letter for providers to finalize if they put in a transformational plan. That hopefully will be finalized Thursday. We're having a meeting with the resource administrators, and I know there's numerous plans that are about ready to be finalized. So they should be hearing early next week on those updates. Beth, you have a question?
I do. Thank you, Keith. Beth Fisher from CUNY. I think my questions are more for DDS than Julia, but Julia, thank you for the update. So the template letter, Keith, that you mentioned that's going out, that's going to be an approval template letter or something else?
It's an approval template. Basically, we just want to make sure, you put in your plans. We want to just finalize, okay, this is what the incentives are. So we're just in agreement on everything that you put in. That it'd probably be a one-page letter, just kind of stating, you're planning to move X amount of people, that type of thing.
That's great to hear. I was going to ask for some clarification on the approval process. And so, I haven't had a chance to talk with our resource administrator about this yet, so I will be following up with him. But one of my staff heard from a case manager that our plan was being held up because there was one team in particular that didn't agree that their individual's name was on our list. And I did not think that's how the process was supposed to work, because, we've asked specifically about because first of all, we knew that people were going to be coming in and out with their interest to move potentially. And so we were instructed, just, put the names of the people on there that you think you're going to move, with the understanding if things changed, we could do that. And this individual in particular has came to our agency with the goal to move into independent placement fairly quickly. So just a little surprised to hear that one person might be holding up approval of our plan. Based on this template letter you talked about, Keith, I'm thinking maybe that's not true, but do you know?
I have had a number of conversations with your resource manager, and that's never been brought up about one individual. We're not trying to hold things up on certain individuals. That could be kind of worked out regardless of the approval of the plan. That it's more less the whole plans we're going through. There's a number of them, and honestly, this is kind of extra duty for the resource administrators, and we're asking a lot of them. Peter and Greg McMahon are part-time, so just trying to get dates together and getting everything finalized is taking a little bit longer than we anticipated. But the one individual I don't think should hold it up. I haven't heard any of issues like that in any of the conversations we've had. So I don't think that's the problem. I think
that's helpful.
By next week we should have a number of providers approved.
That's helpful, and I'm going to make an assumption that this case manager just might be confused, but I will add that a lot of the DDS staff have no idea what we're talking about when we're talking about transformation planning. So I don't know that they're reading their newsletters, maybe. I don't know what else to say.
There is a number of trainings being planned in this month, right, Julia? I think it's this month. Yes. That there's a leadership training, then there's case management and training. So hopefully these types of situations will start going away.
This is Julie Oak from Deloitte, just to piggyback on Keith. So this month there will be informational sessions, and then those will be followed in most likely June by trainings. So we're sort of phasing, getting people on the same board, kind of know what step is, and then that'll be followed by a training that's a little bit more process oriented.
Keith Lavalette, DDS. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Julia. All right, I had sent out a review of frequently asked questions documents on Friday, and basically I was just looking for if anybody has any questions, concerns, if we've forgotten something. These have been kind of reviewed numerous times. Deloitte actually has another frequently asked question document in the works that all this is going to be added to from their sessions. And if you get a chance to review that by Wednesday, if you can just send me any concerns, just email me, and then I can get those to Peter, the team, Deloitte, and get that added if need be. Any questions with that? All right. Does anybody else have any concerns or topics going forward?
Keith, this is Catherine Dupree, your co-chair. We haven't talked in a little while. I would have asked you this question separately, but I wondered, as proposals are approved, will this committee be able to learn about any of them? Whether a provider wants to be identified or not may be a separate question, but it might be nice for us to have a flavor of what's being proposed for transformation and day services.
Yes, and I think we may approach some providers that are once their plans are approved and say, hey, you know, you got a great opportunity here, plan moving forward. You know, we'd like to use you and hopefully for phase 2 and get more people interested.
Thank you. That would be helpful.
Anything else? All right, I have a on the agenda next meeting on 6/5/2023, and I put a question mark next to that because I am off that day, and I just wanted to see if the committee wanted to have this meeting without me, or move the committee to another day. I mean, Catherine can always chair the meeting if need be.
Yeah, I indicated. This is Catherine Dupree, your co-chair. I indicated I would certainly lead it if the committee wanted to meet, but I wonder if it makes sense to wait and see if we have the videos to screen, or if there's a reason to meet that early in June versus a little bit later. I don't know what other committee members feel.
Well, could I throw this out? How much time would people need? Like if we moved it to the following Monday, or something of that sort, because I know in June there's I think the 19th is a holiday for the state. So we only have a couple of Mondays to pick from.
The 12th is open for me. This is Catherine Dupree.
This is Beth Fisher from CUNE. I mean, right now I have something on the 12th that runs till about 3 o'clock. So I would just need to know sooner than later because my schedule definitely fills up quickly. The 19th is a holiday for us as well, but I'm not available on the 26th at all. So
I'm not either. This is Catherine Dupree.
Mm-hmm.
So could somebody reply if they're not able to meet at 4 o'clock on the 12th? Because that would be an easy change.
I'm sorry, was that May or June?
This would be June 12th. That is Monday, right?
Yes.
So we would meet Monday, June 12th at 4 o'clock, if that's good with the committee. And cancel the 6-5 meeting. And hopefully, I don't know if Maura's still on.
I am from, oh, sorry, Becca Brockway from McDowell Communications.
Any thoughts about 6/12, whether any of the videos might be ready by then, or you have still no clue on that?
They should be. The first 5 should be if everything continues to go on schedule.
Okay,
And we'll keep you posted, Keith, so you can keep the committee posted
all right.
if it works.
The final 2 were the employment, correct?
Correct.
And what was the other one? Remote supports? maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but if we could see some of them on the 12th, that would be good. I think the committee would enjoy seeing those videos, and then I would like to get them to see the employment one when that one's done.
Definitely. That sounds good.
Okay, any other questions for the group?
This is Catherine Dupree, your coach. I have no questions, Keith, but there was a very positive article, banner site up in the Hartford Current this morning about Favar's project search.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
All
and
right, I'll have to-
98%
I'll
of
have to
people who
check.
participate get employed. So it was really and it was a long article, went to
Yeah.
another page. So it was a great description of employment opportunities through that kind of venue for people with disabilities. It was well done.
That sounds fantastic. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll have to let people know it's out there. So. All right, with that, could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Beth Fisher from Kuhn.
A second?
I'll second it.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. Appreciate all your efforts, and we'll see you in a little more than a month.
Thank you, Keith.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.